The school books that are not just happening in the Middle East, but what is being taught now in radicalized American Muslim schools?
It is shocking what's happening in schools all across the world, not only in America. The government of Saudi Arabia is printing books and establishing schools all around the world, over 25,000 schools established and funded by the Saudi government. And they are supplying the books to these schools. And some of these books that are taught in the Middle East, like we just watched, to teach children to hate and become suicide bombers, are being taught also in the United States of America. And I'm going to quote you some of the sample of the books. This is a book from 8th grade and 9th grade books. This is called Sharh Kitab al-Tawheed for 8th grade, published 2001. This is page 43. Jews and Christians cursed by Allah and turned into apes and pigs. Quoting Surah Al-Ma'idah, verse 60, the lesson explains that Jews and Christians have sinned by accepting polytheism and therefore incurred Allah's wrath. To punish them, Allah had turned them into apes and pigs. It's unbelievable hatred education that is being taught to elementary school children, secondary school children. How do we expect to teach a child such hatred against people like you and me and expect him to grow up at 18-year-old and love us and respect us?
There's also something in the books where it says that until the Muslims, help me out here, until the Muslims fight the Jews and the Christians, the day of judgment cannot come, right?
Exactly.
Which explains the whole messianic kind of apocalyptic view of people like President Ahmadinejad in Iran.
Exactly. And this is what the West needs to understand and realize about Islam. We are dealing with a radical ideology right now spreading all throughout the world with one goal, and that is the establishing of an Islamic Khalifa throughout the world.
Okay, wait, explain that, because most people don't even know what that is.
A Khalifa is an Islamic government ruled by Sharia law, where everybody has to obey and live under Islam. In Islam, there is no difference between the state and the religion. The religion is the state and the state is the religion.
Right.
And this is why we are seeing suicide bombers right now who are spreading throughout the world, screaming Allahu Akbar as their last words, praising Allah as they die and go to heaven. But this is what they're taught from the time they were little, from the time they were children.
So when you were growing up in the Middle East, you were in Lebanon, and you spent from 12 to 17 in an underground bunker, right?
Yes.
What do you remember? Do you remember being taught any of this? Because you're not Muslim. Do you remember being taught any of this, being exposed to this, hearing the songs, or anything like that?
I was not taught hatred at home, but as a Lebanese girl growing in Lebanon, we had a lot of Palestinian refugees that came to Lebanon after the war. Lebanon actually was the only country who took in a third wave of Palestinian refugees in 1970. So our government, which controlled the media, what we used to watch on television at night was Israel, Azrael. Azrael is the name of the devil. The Jews are evil. The Jews are barbaric. The only time we will have peace in the Middle East is when we kill all the Jews and throw them into the sea. This was the propaganda being espoused all throughout the media.
This show has taken me months to be able to put on the air. We have less than a minute. You've been in the media for a long time. Why has it taken almost an act of God to get this show on the air?
Because political correctness is killing us. Political correctness is the disease that is killing the West. It is the apathy by which the Muslims are killing us one by one. We have got to throw it in the garbage where it belongs. People have to develop the backbone to stand up and identify the enemy, because the West right now is plagued with Islamofascism, a disease worse than cancer that is going to kill our body unless we fight it and kill it first. And unless people come to that understanding, and hopefully we don't have to suffer a nuclear attack on American soil, nor on British soil or any other westernized nation. But this is where we're heading, and the media is the first front in getting the message to the American public, and it is their duty to do that.
Brigitte, thank you very much.